Is this frequency in use? Is this frequency in use? CQ, CQ, CQ15, CQ, 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 November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ, CQ, CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ, CQ, CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ and listening. CQ, CQ15, CQ, CQ, CQ15, November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ, CQ, CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ, CQ, and standing by. CQ15, CQ15, November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ, CQ, CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ, CQ, CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ and standing by.
Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Fox, India.
Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Fox, India. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, good morning. Name is Doug Delta Oscar Uniform Go. QT to Delta Bot, Illinois. Very good send coming up for today. Can I get your name and your call sign, please?
Yeah, QSL, the name here is Ryan, Romeo Yankee, Alpha November. Call sign is November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo. And we're out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're running a IC 7300 to an Ameritron 811H with a 6-element tri-band beam pointed actually a little north of you, but definitely pointed in your direction. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm running a Kenwood TS590SG. I'm seeing a vertical and lateral line versus the Alpha 2050 is open today.
Yeah, it's been open a little bit. I heard some DX in there and figured we'd start throwing the call out and just see what we got, you know, be it in the country, out of the country, you know, we'll take it all. So you're running about a S5, a little bit of QSB, so it drops down to no lower than an S3, but you're definitely a Q5 on the audio. No problems hearing you at all.
Thanks. I'll let you make some more contacts. So thanks for picking me back up there. S7RMQ from KC9VFI73.
Correction on the call. It's November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilowatt.
Oh, kilowatt. Okay, thanks. I got it down. Thanks. The Alpha 8 Zulu.
Whiskey Alpha 8 Zulu. Go ahead, sir.
Is this D1 KR, D01 KR, D01 KRT?
Negative. This is November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo.
No, there's a guy. You're calling on the same frequency. A guy in Germany is calling on this frequency as well. I was trying to get him.
Okay. Well, I'm not hearing a guy in Germany, and I did call, so hopefully he wasn't here before I was.
Yeah, I don't know. You're on the backside of me too, so you picked me up on the backside. Wasn't hearing you that well before, but anyway, good to talk to you this morning. This is Don, Delta Oscar November, the WAAC. I'll let you go.
All right, Don. Hey, no worries. Are you hearing the guy in Germany? I mean, I'll move off if he's calling.
Yeah, I'm hearing him pretty well. I'm in Ohio, so I'm about, you're a little farther west than me. Maybe you're not hearing him.
Yeah, negative. I'm out here in Vegas, not hearing him. All right, well, I'll move off of this one and let y'all have it. No worries at all. Definitely not hearing him. So we'll say N7 RMK, and I'm going to move up. I'll move up 5. That should be plenty. Is this frequency in use? 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 CQ, 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 CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ, CQ, CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilowatt, calling CQ, CQ, and listening. CQ15, CQ15, November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilo, calling CQ, CQ, CQ. CQ, 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 November 7, Radio, Mexico Kilowatt, calling CQ, CQ, and listening.
November 4, Mike, November, Charlie.
November 4, Mike, November, Charlie. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. The name is Carl here at Charlie Alpha Romeo Lima, call sign N4MNC in the mountains.
Wow, Carl, I don't know if you came off the pickle or the band just went dead on us. I heard your call, heard that your name's Carl, and then you faded right off. Let's see if you're still there.
Roger that. November 4, Mike, November, Charlie. Yeah, maybe the band came back up. Yeah, the name is Carl in Western North Carolina, QSL.
Yeah, QSL, Carl. Yeah, you're about an S3. Great audio, no problem there. And name here is Ryan, Romeo Yankee Alpha November. And I'm out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's see, we're looking for about 72 degrees today. Bright sunshine, wall to wall, no clouds, and not even a little bit of a breeze going on today. I guess we'll call this our typical fall weather in the desert. Yeah, Carl, I just don't think it's going to work. Definitely up and down. I heard you say my name, and that was about it. Either way, I got you in the logbook. Hopefully 15 gets a little bit better in the coming weeks, months, years. But right now today, it doesn't seem like it wants to play too good. So unfortunately, I'll say 73's got you in the log, put you on the QRZ there, and log of the world. So that's the best we can do. 73's, my friend. Hope to catch you under better conditions. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo, QRZ. India, Papa, Quebec, I think. It was very light. QSL on the 5x7. Give me your call sign one more time, real slow. Okay, I think I got it. Foxtrot 6, India, Papa, Quebec. QSL? QS, I've got you about an S1 in Las Vegas. But if I've got the call right, Foxtrot 6, India, Papa, Quebec. Manuel, I believe it is, in France. QSL? QSL, Manuel, and thank you for coming back to my call, and I hope to catch you down the log. N7 RMK QRZ. CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo. CQ15. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo. Standing by. CQ, November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo. CQ. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo, standing by. CQ, November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo, calling CQ, and listening. CQ, November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo, calling CQ, and listening.
This W9 IPR.
W9, India Papa Radio. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, very good. We're only running about 100 watts now. We're in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. We have a beautiful signal, 559. Our name here is Tom, Tango Oscar Mike, and my software is still coming up. W9 IPR.
QSL, Tom. I've got you at about a 5.3 out here in Vegas. It's still early. It's only 8:30, so as the band's probably not in the best shape quite yet coming my way, but thanks for the signal report going your way. The name here is Ryan, Romeo Yankee Alpha November, and we're in Las Vegas, Nevada. Just seeing what's going on 15. Figured we'd make some noise and see what we could get. It's been pretty sparse this morning, unfortunately, so I'm glad to hear you out there. So what's going on in your part of the world? How's the weather and all that good stuff?
Well, Ryan, the weather is cruddy. At least the leaves are all down, and I got those taken care of. Right now it's, I think, 37 and misting. It rained during the evening. So that's kind of the weather. That's the weather. Las Vegas, I'm sure it's much more dry.
Well, you're not kidding about dry. We haven't had any measurable rain in 200 and somewhere around 10 days now. We didn't get our summer monsoon at all, so we haven't had measurable rain in 200, and I think we're 7 or 8, 9, 10, something like that, in that general area, and no rain in sight so far. So who knows when we're going to get rain again? But aside from that, it's a typical fall day here in the desert. Wall-to-wall sunshine, not a breeze blowing, and looking for about 72, 73 degrees for the high today. And so there you go. Fall in the desert is hard to complain about.
So how's the water level behind the dam?
Well, unfortunately, it's low. It's been holding steady about where it's at. I think the lake's somewhere around 55% capacity, something like that. And, it's been there for a number of years. Unfortunately, it'll probably never be full again. They say that back in 1983, when it was full and water was rushing over the spillways, that was actually a mistake they made in the upper Colorado River areas, and we'll probably never see that again. But I keep hearing we're running out of water, we're going to run out of water, and this and that, and I've been hearing that pretty much the last 20 years. So I think we're going to be all right, but the lake will never be full again, unfortunately.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We were out there about 20 years ago, and we kind of toured the area. We got there on business, but we went up to the dam, and that was kind of the situation at that time as well. You know, to my ear, you're a 5x9, but by the meter, it's more like 5x5. It goes up a little and down a little. I could turn on the amplifier, but it doesn't seem to be a real need to. You're very, very readable. So I'm assuming I am as well. If not, tell me and I'll click on the amplifier. I'm still waiting for my software to come up. It's really, really slow. This is older computer. Take a lot of time. In fact, I took the board off of it a week ago and changed the CMOS battery, thinking it was dead. And I looked to see if all the memory was installed, but those slots were all full. So I guess it's just the vintage of the unit. The antenna here that we're on is a vertical, high gain HT8T vertical tower type. I could, well, you'd be off the back end of the beam, so, but I really like the vertical. It does all band, and I don't have to retune or anything when I use it. Okay, now my ham radio deluxe is finally coming up, Ryan. It's finally coming up. Give me your call sign again, Ryan.
No problem at all there, Tom. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilo. November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilowatt is the call out here in Las Vegas. And yeah, very good on the vertical antenna. The band's not the greatest. A little bit of noise on the band, and I've got you anywhere from S nothing to an S5. It just kind of depends on where the QSB is going, but 99.9% readable on all that. Here we're running an IC7300 into the Ameritron AL811H, and that is on about 800 watts, into a 6-element tri-band, a TH6DXX at 50 feet, and actually pointed a bit north of you into Europe, but hearing you just fine nonetheless. So those are the conditions here, and yeah, sometimes these computers they don't like to play. This morning when I first started, I fired up my computer and it didn't want to go on to QRZ, which is where I do my logging, and then transfer it to Log of the World after. And I'm sitting here waiting, and finally it comes on, and then haven't had a glitch since. So I do believe some of these computers are just fickle. Back to you, Tom.
Very good, Ryan. Yeah, you're up to a 5, 8, and 9 now on the meter. And I did turn up my power a little bit. This is an FT5000, so I did kick it up to about 150 watts. Yeah, it's about 150 to 200 in that area. So that should have improved it just a little bit. We do have an amplifier here, but it's not on. It's an AL572. And then I also have an FT847 and an FT1000. And recently, I just, 2 years ago, I picked up a used FT2000 to use at a special event station that we typically worked in Florida, but I don't think we'll be going down there this year. This pandemic thing is not good. In Wisconsin, we're entering a surge now again, a second wave. So it kind of minimizes any real interactions within the family gatherings and things like that. So how is the COVID bit in Nevada? Are the casinos open again, and if so, under what conditions? W9 IPR.
W9 IPR N7 RMK returning. Out here, they're telling us that we're into another surge of cases going up. It's not really hit us that bad. I mean, sorry that people have passed away, and an unfortunate fact of life. We're all going to do it eventually. So that's kind of the way I look at that. But it has affected us economically. I'd say more than it has affected us with death rates and stuff like that out here. And that's just what they're telling us on the news, just going by the numbers that we see. Comes that opinion. We did have a big shutdown, of course, like everybody else. All the casinos were closed, restaurants, bars. Basically, if you were deemed not essential, you stayed at home. I work in the construction industry. They decided that we were essential. I kind of joked and said, no, it's just that we're expendable. But so that's the way it was. And a few months ago, they started opening the casinos back up to 50% capacity. And I believe now all of the casinos are finally open now. We might have one or two that's off of the strip that's not, and the more local ones that might not be. But they're running 50% capacity in the hotels and casinos, and forcing them to wear masks and stuff like that. And as I said, they're telling us that we're into a second surge as well. Our governor has come down with the coronavirus. I don't like our governor, but I also don't wish him any ill effects. I hope he recovers quickly and doesn't use it as a political stance. Beyond that, my life really hasn't been affected by it, and I'm very thankful for that. I've stayed working all through this with no issues. My cousin did get the coronavirus, and apparently he suffered no ill effects. Even though he's got asthma, he was able to recover quickly. Him and his family had to quarantine the whole nine. So as far as all that goes, I'd say we're doing better than some places, not as well as others, and I really wish it would hurry up and they'd get this vaccine going, and the world could return back to whatever normal was. So there's my opinion on the coronavirus.
Well, very good. We know one person who's had it. We usually have a large Thanksgiving gathering of family and a large Christmas gathering of family. And not this year. Not this year. I have one daughter and her family only live a mile from here, but we'll probably not go over there either. But it's pretty much homebound here. Hey, I'm going to let you go, Ryan. It's been nice talking to you. And it's good to know how things are going in Las Vegas. It's good to know how it sounds like it's starting to recover a bit economically. I think Wisconsin is recovering economically. The cases are still going up. Hey, with that, we'll say 73, Ryan. And thank you very much for the QSO. It's nice to know we're getting into Las Vegas. This is W9 IPR.
All right, Tom. Well, thanks for coming back to my call. I definitely appreciate that and enjoyed the QSO. We hope to catch you down the log again as the conditions improve, and 15 gets more and more active. W9 IPR from N7 RMK 73 is my friend.
73. Take care.
You as well. N7 RMK. N7 RMK. CQ. Anybody else out there on 15 meters this morning? Ooh, Whiskey Alpha 7 Charlie Papa London. Very light, but I think I got the call.
Whiskey Alpha 7 Charlie So you're doing really well. I've got it laying down right now due to high winds here in Sheboygan.
Yeah, let's see. I think I got the. You fell way off. There seems to be a lot of QSB on the band. 1 second, yeah, it's good and readable. Next second, it's just not there. I believe you said something about an antenna being down due to high winds, and I'm pretty sure I got the call of Whiskey After 7, Charlie Papa Radio CPR, but that's about all I've gotten. QSL on any of that?
Located in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Sheboygan, Wisconsin. 73, take care, have a good day. WA7CP Arthur.
All right, yeah, I caught all that. I rolled the beam down. I was pointed towards Europe, but rolled the beam down a little bit. You did come up to about an S3, so yeah, I'm definitely hearing you, but unfortunately, I don't think the conditions are quite there between us. So, Ken, you have a good one. And I did put you in the logs, so we'll call that a contact, and I hope to catch you further down with better conditions.
Roger, Roger, 73.
See, now there you're a solid S5 with Q5 audio, so maybe we can make it work. Now, tell me about the antenna laying down on the ground.
It's a vertical antenna. The winds are getting really high here at Gus. So I laid the antenna down. I have one of those DX electronic antenna mounts and laid the antenna down. The signals are coming in very well, even with the high gain laying on the ground like it is. So I thought I'd give it a try and see what I could come up with. And it's cloudy, rainy, and very, very windy here in Sheboygan. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Cloudy, windy. Got it. Yeah, you're solid S5 now, sounding great. Definitely, like I said, pointing at you. I was pointed towards Europe, so about 30 degrees. So it's half the bandwidth of the antenna, or beam width, I should say. So, yeah, you've come way up now from what you were. So we'll call that my fault. We're running the 7300 into an Ameritron 811H, about 800 watts, into a 6-element high gain, the old TH6 DXX at 50 feet, and now pointed in your direction. So that's what we're doing out here as far as the operating conditions. And then for the weather, it's the time of the year that I get to get on the radio and laugh at everybody, I guess you could call it, because I definitely don't get jealous when I hear cold, rainy, snowy, windy, on and on and on. I'm looking at wall-to-wall sunshine, not a breeze blowing, and forecast high today is around 72 to 75 degrees around the valley. So typical fall day out here in the desert.
That's where I grew up. I grew up in Scottsdale, Arizona, lived there for 40-some years, and then decided to move out, needed to see someplace different. But unfortunately, it's starting to look like that's the place to be again, is back in Arizona. Now that you've had your election and some laws got passed that make things a little bit more tolerable for living in the desert. What was your call again? I actually didn't write it down. I can't believe that.
Hey, no worries at all. The call here is November 7. Radio, Mexico, Kilo. And the name is Ryan. Romeo Yankee Alpha November.
Okay, got that. Your signal is just wonderful here. I mean, there's no QSB, nothing on it. And I have to admit, it's a very, very clean signal. Audio is wonderful. So what part of Seven Land are you living in?
We are in the wonderful Las Vegas Valley. Is that what they call it, the wonderful? No, it's fabulous Las Vegas Valley. So I live on the east side of town, as far away from the strip as probably possible. Right out here in Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh wow! That's really different. The sky must be just lit up all night long. I don't think you see any stars out there, do you?
Not many stars at all. And I have dabbled in astronomy. I've got a decent telescope and everything, and we'll drive a couple hours out of town to set it up to look. At midnight here in Las Vegas, you can literally look down towards the strip area, or towards the center of town, and look up and see blue sky. As horrible as that sounds, it is true. Obviously, some of the brighter stars will shine through. We can see the Big Dipper and stuff like that, so it's not quite as bad as some places. But yeah, the light pollution is definitely a thing to deal with, especially when you want to do a little backyard astronomy.
Well, that would definitely put a kibosh on that, that's for sure. Nice reflector, but it was about Newtonian type. It was about an 8-inch, and living where I was at the time, it was hard to set it up and get a clear view out of the sky. Then I moved to Washington State, and I lived out in the woods, so it was pretty dark at night, but the woods were all around, so I only had just a little window up into the sky where the trees were cleared out. So it was pretty much just straight up is about all you could look at when I lived in Washington. But the funny thing is, you could see satellites going over all the time out there, it seems like. And you'd be surprised how many satellites are up there floating around. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll go. So living in Las Vegas, as far as the astronomy goes, like I said, you can do a little bit in the backyard, but you do have a lot of sky glow and stuff like that. But you drive 2 hours north of Vegas, and you're into you're in the darkest skies left in the country, and you can get out there and just naked eye see more stars and constellations and this and that's than you've ever seen. So you set the telescope up out there, and it's just amazing. And used to go with a group of people that had anywhere from, a couple guys had their 6-inch telescopes, different varieties, and then I've got an 8-inch. I never say it right, Maskatov Cassegrain, if you're familiar with that. It's an 8-inch telescope, but it's a little short scope with a mirror on the objective end, and it bounces around inside. It comes back to the eyepiece at the very end. So just a different design. Anyhow, and then I had a friend that had an 18-inch Obsession that was in a Dobsonian mount, and that thing was crazy. You put a wide-angle lens in that and just kind of walk around. It was like you were walking through space, looking at all the different stuff that would show up. Just an amazing telescope. So we'd go out and do that stuff, and that was the way to do it. Wide open desert, so you were horizon to horizon and pitch black most of the time. I mean, you had to struggle to see your hand in front of you in some of the places that we would go. So that was always interesting to do it that way. WA7 CPR from N7 RMK. Back to you.
Our business friends, N7 RMK. Yeah, I've always been in awe of this. And what you're describing is a wonderful experience. And I know how dark the desert can get, but not quite like what you're saying. But I've not experienced anything quite like that, except when I was in Washington. I have to admit, it was so dark. You would have a cup of tea and 20 feet out. Next up, you could see all the stars would light it up more than anything. But I know that out north of Las Vegas, you might see some UFOs and things, I guess. Was that area 52 or 54, I don't know, Studio 54, something like that is out there. And I don't know if you ever, did you ever see anything when you were out there cavorting around in the desert?
Area 51, and no, I've seen. I mean, I've seen things in the sky that I couldn't explain. Not necessarily while out telescoping or anything like that. Just look up and see something that doesn't quite work out in your head as to what it might be. But I do 100% believe there's intelligent life out there somewhere. Don't know that they've ever been to Earth. I wouldn't be surprised if one day all the stories in the Bible turn out to be aliens that have come to the planet. So I believe that there's extraterrestrials out there. Have I ever seen one? Not that I know of. And but to be out doing the telescope stuff and see stuff up there, I've never seen anything out of the ordinary. Kind of a bummer, you're out there in the dark like that. It'd be nice to see something cool to tell everybody that they'd never believe you, and you're like, whatever. 3 or 4 of us saw it, so we know it's true. So, but unfortunately, no UFO or alien stories from being up in the desert north of Vegas.
There's money to be made there, I guess. You could always sell a story. For all I know, you could probably just make something up and sell it online at one of these UFO watch groups and get a little pocket cash that way. Like I said, how could anyone not believe you? I agree with you. I know there's intelligent life up there. A reason for it, to be perfectly honest. So insignificant here on Earth in comparison to the grand scheme that why would an extraterrestrial life form be interested in coming to this planet is beyond me. Oh well. That's my opinion on that, but yeah, I agree with you. I know there's life out there. It'd be silly not to think so. And I think they've done some research. I think you see some of these shows on UFOs, and they do know a lot of things that things like that, but there's appear to be UFOs in the sky. Along like that. So I agree. Go ahead.
All right, I think you unkeyed. I've pretty much lost you. You started off a little better than had been, and then about S3 on that last comeback that faded down to a nothing. So before I lose you completely, I caught enough of what you were saying. Apparently we're in agreement. It'd be a big waste of space out there if it was all just empty. But anyhow, before I lose you completely, I'd like to say 73s and hope to catch you down the log. Maybe when it's not so windy, the conditions are better, the antennas are higher, all of the above. But fantastic QSO, and glad that you were out there to pick me up today. WA7 CPR from N7 RMK 73s, my friend.
Sure, no problem. W4 AEG 54 Alpha Echo Golf. Hope you have a good day today. Stay safe out there in La La Land, or I don't know, it's LA, isn't it? I don't know. So you take care of yourself and stay safe.
K9 Charlie Echo Golf.
Pleasurable. Thank you. And 7 RMK, sign off. This is WA7 CPR. Thank you.
Alrighty, sounds good, Ken. We'll catch you on down the log. I heard a couple of stations. The one that I wrote down was W4AEG, W4AEG, N7 RMK. Go ahead, sir.
N7 RM.
City, this is W4AEG. Name here is Bob, CPH, Troy, Alabama. Over.
Alrighty, Bob. I've got you about an S5. Band conditions are not great coming from the East Coast. Correction on the call. It's November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilowatt. QSL?
Roger, thanks. What is your TPH and name again?
The name here is Ryan, Romeo, Yankee, Alpha, November. And we're located out here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Cool beans. One of my favorite places for business. Ryan, I'm just on the air here now for about 6 months after a 45-year lapse. Running an IC 7300 into an in-fed halfwave antenna up about 50 feet, and I am having a ball. Over.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely doing a good job as well with that the 7300 and the NFED. You're up a little bit. Like I said, there's a lot of QSB on the band today, so it's been up and down. The guys will come in real strong, then they'll fade off, and it's just kind of irritating. I love talking to people, so getting a good conversation with CPR, just setting to go, and it just keeps fading away. I'm like, dang it. So hopefully things will start getting better as the day goes on. It's still early out here. It's 9 a.m. So very good. I'm also running a 7300, running that into an Ameritron 811H, so about 800, 850 watts, into a 6-element high gain beam at 50 feet, pointed out in your general direction. So there's the operating conditions here from Vegas. And let's see, I'll probably make you a little bit jealous. I'll give you the weather report. Wall-to-wall sunshine, not a cloud in the sky, no breeze, no wind at all. And we're looking for a high of about 72 degrees today. Typical fall day in the desert. Back to you, Bob.
Well, Ron, we have the same weather report here, except that we have a little bit of wind, which I like, a little bit of wind. Ron, I have a Ameritron 80B here I just took out of the box, and I've got to take it apart. Do you know anything about which screws you screw out in order to take off the cover?
Oh, man, on that one, I don't know. I would assume just the ones around the outside is what mine is. There's 3 across the top and the front and the back, and then 4 or 5 down along the bottom. But the amplifiers are all different, so I really couldn't tell you on that one. Definitely, I would say YouTube is probably your friend for that.
Roger. I think I'll take out the side screws first. I can't imagine why any screws in the middle would affect, it falling apart. But anyway, is your amplifier, is it a solid state or is it tubes?
It's tubes. So it's the 8L11H, or AL811H. So originally it came with 4 811 tubes in it. The gentleman that owned it before me took those out and put the 572B tubes in there, effectively making it what Ameritron calls an AL811HD amplifier. So just 4 572B tubes in it, and it runs a respectable 800 watts most of the time. Sometimes different bands it'll do a little better. On 40 meters, it's a screamer. It's always up about 800-900 watts, no problem on 40 meters. But right here, easily 800 watts, and it seems to run pretty cool, and never have any problems with it. So I cannot complain about this Ameritron amplifier.
Well, I'm impressed with your 7300. Your audio is the best I've heard. And I get the same reports here. And I hear a lot of audio on the band that's not that good. Over.
Yeah, there's some guys like it a little different than others, I guess, because it's definitely a lot of different audio qualities that I hear, and for different situations. I do a lot of the DX stuff, and they get the high pitch, want to break through, and of course I can hit the buttons to make that happen as well. But I do appreciate the audio report. Yours sounds fantastic as well. I bought the Heil ICM mic, boom mic setup, and followed their instructions as what they like the EQ set at. Set it there, and and haven't never looked back. And like you said, I always get really good audio reports. So just left it here, and everybody tells me the same thing. So I do appreciate that. And like I said, yours sounds pretty darn good as well coming back this way.
Well, I'm using the SM30 desk mic, the lower price one, and I like it because it's easier than using that handheld mobile mic push button. That was making my fingers hurt, Ron. Over. This is W4AEG.
W4AEG N7 RMK returning. Yeah, I use the mic's on the boom, and then I've got a pistol grip mic button that I use left hand. That way I can write with my right hand or run the computer with one hand. So, and then I also I record all these conversations and put them on YouTube. So if you want to hear what you sound like on my end, you just go on YouTube, look up my call sign, and let's see, about 45 minutes into it is where we started talking. So you could always check that out as well. I don't know how well today's is going to be with the signals being down low for the most part. You've been about the loudest I've heard on the band. But let's see, I talked to a guy in France, talked to a couple people up in the northern part of the country, and now it sounds like we're swinging down towards the south. So I got the beam pointed now east, not quite east, about 65 degrees. I could probably come down a little more to the east, but so things are starting to pick up. It's still it's only 9:05 out here on the west coast, so we're just getting into the day, and the band will hopefully keep getting better as we go.
Well, Ron, I'm, of course, running barefoot here right now, but I've really enjoyed this my antenna in-fed half-wave. I have worked most of South America, New Zealand, the Cook Islands, Ireland, and a lot of Europe and Canada. I've been real pleased with this rig here.
Oh, yeah, and it's doing a fantastic job. I mean, you're up to about a S7 consistently now, as the conditions have gotten better coming from the east to the west. So, yeah, definitely is doing well for you. I am jealous of all you guys living on that side of the country. Europe is a haul from here. Africa is a haul, all that stuff. I've never talked into the Middle East. Every once in a while I can kind of hear somebody from the Middle East, but I mostly hear the people talking to them, stuff like that. So a little bit jealous of the way the propagation works differently on the opposite ends of the country. But at the same time, I'm sure that you guys out there, when we're talking to Japan and Australia and all that with no problems at all, and you're hearing us talk to them but can't quite hear them, I'm sure it kind of goes both ways.
Roger. I have a question, Ron. As a new ham, a new old ham, people give a signal report, they say 5.9, but if you just turn up your RF gain, you can make it whatever you want. Is that correct? How is that relevant?
It's not. I run my gain pretty much wide open, so I got no problem listening to the static in the background. So, like I said, I'm hearing you. So your audio quality is 5, which is good. So your Q5 and your signal would be being real. You're a 5x7. I've got you at an S7 is pretty average. Now on my highly calibrated meter, right? That might be different than the next guy's highly calibrated meter and where he's got his RF gain and squelch set and all that stuff. So to be 100% honest, it doesn't mean anything. Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Are we able to communicate? That's really all that matters. I think the 5.9 just happens to be a good number to say.
Yeah, I understand, and that makes sense to me. Very much common sense. Well, you're coming in here 5 to 5.7, and with a very, very good signal. I got so much to learn, Ron. I don't know where to start.
Well, I'm not that old into the hobby. I'm not that old in general. In the ham world, I'm still a child. I'm 43 years old. I've been playing radio. I got my first license in 2004-ish, somewhere around in there. And then just over the years, I had a family that was young and raising the kids. I was out of it for a long time. Did 100 watts on a wire antenna when I could. Other than the local repeater stuff. So I've really only been serious back into HF since January of this year. I shouldn't say that. Right before Christmas of last year, I started getting a little more into it. And then come January, I bought this 7300. I bought the Ameritron used. The antenna and the tower, I live on the same property as my parents, and this antenna has been up since 1982. My dad's a ham, but he dropped out of the hobby back in the early 90s and just kind of walked away from it and did other stuff. So plugged into the antenna and got it all working again. The antenna was fine. The rotor needed to be serviced. The coax changed. Rotor control cable needed to be changed, all that. So really, I've only been back into the hobby myself since about January of this year, and love it. I've logged 889 QSOs in 112 different countries on top of that, and just absolutely love getting out here and just seeing what's going on out in the world.
Well, that's amazing, Ron. Apparently, you're able to tune your linear very quickly. Is that right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once you get the hang of it, it's easy. I was afraid of tubes for the longest time. Didn't want nothing to do with it. Didn't know nothing about them. Was afraid I was going to hurt them. And it takes about maybe a day or two of practice, and you'll be able to switch the bands, tune it right in, and be good to go very quickly.
When you're tuning, do you do that into a dummy load or on the air?
I just do it on the air. Tuning into a dummy load might get you close, but you're not going to load into the antenna is going to be different. So, and like I said, you get to the point where you can do it fast enough. It's not even that big of a deal. Never ever tune on frequency. If you hear people talking, go off 3 to 5 K and tune up and slide back onto the frequency. You'll be just fine. So you shouldn't bother anybody by doing it if you don't do it right on frequency that people are talking.
Well, that's good advice. Good advice. Well, Ron, back in 1976, I was on CW at about 10 words a minute max, 75 watts into a wire antenna, and I had a ball. I need to relearn CW, but I'm so dang lazy these days. N7RMK, this is W4AEG.
N7RMK returning. Yeah, well, I didn't have to learn the code. I say didn't have to. I would have if I had to. I got my tech license without the code and was working on learning code, and then they dropped the code off of the general license, and I literally went down and took the test the next weekend. And then in January of this year, I upgraded to extra class. So, but yeah, definitely, I never learned the code, and I was struggling with it, but I would have got it. But I was definitely struggling with it before they dropped the requirement.
Did you say you had your extra license?
Yes, sir. I upgraded to extra January of this year.
Yeah, I got mine last year, but I didn't get on the air for a year. Actually, about a year and a half ago. But it's nice to have. I use PMTS as a piece of cake and a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's nice to have. For the longest time, I says, what in the world do I need that extra bit of privileges for? And then quickly realized, well, A, that's where all the DX is for the most part. And B, it can get awful crowded in the general portion of the bands. And with the conditions not being that great, they're getting better now, but I can only imagine how bad it's going to be once 10 meters is open worldwide and stuff like that. It'll be nice to be able to slide down a little bit and get into more clear frequencies.
Well, Ron, right now on 15 meters, it's like you're here in the room with me. The band is stable. We're getting great propagation. I'm very impressed. Very glad, finally.
Yeah, it's definitely improved. It's improved over this morning as well. Literally just in our conversation here. You started out about an S3 and now you've bounced up. You're staying solid between the S7, S9, and fantastic audio, like I said. So even the conditions today have gotten better coming from across the country here. So I tell you what, Bob, there was quite a few other people out there calling. I want to give everybody a chance. Great talking with you, and I hope to catch you on the band again here or anywhere. Definitely enjoy meeting new people out there. So we'll turn it back to you for one more go around, and then I think we'll clear out and see what else is going on. W4AEG from N7RMK. Go ahead, Bob.
N7RMK, this is W4AEG. Ron, thanks so much for all of your help. Have a wonderful day, and I so enjoyed the Q. 73, my friend.
Alrighty, we'll look for you on the band. N7RMK. QRZ.
K9 Charlie Echo Golf AWA for Germany, Zebra Kilo, Atlanta, Georgia, over.
Man, there is a bunch of you guys out there. Atlanta, I heard you last. Give me your call one more time, sir.
Yeah, WA4 Germany, Zebra Kilo, WA4GZK. Good afternoon, S9 Plus in Atlanta. The name is Bill Baker, India Lima Lima. And it's good to see signals lighting up. I even made a 12-meter contact. So back to you. And I seem to go by Ryan, but N7RMK, WA4GZK.
Yeah, Bill, that's right. Ryan, Romeo Yankee Alpha November. Got you up here on the QRZ, sitting there in your little float with the fish. That would be fun. I haven't gone fishing in so many years. It's been a long, long time. Nice and relaxing. So, yeah, 12 meters. See, I've never made a contact on 12 meters, so I'm going to have to make that happen now that I'm back into the hobby with both feet and all that. We'll have to figure out how to make that happen one day, just to say I did it. So, but it's definitely cool. The band's been coming alive. Like I said, if you're copying the traffic, I got my extra class upgrade in January, and sitting here waiting for the band conditions to come back. I was off the air for quite a long time. So the last time I had been on the air, I was talking in the downslide of the last solar cycle, but it was still good. Tune up a wet noodle and talk around the world. So this last few months, it's been like, what the heck happened to HF radio? But now it's coming back, so I'm really looking forward to it. So Bill, you're slamming in out here, a solid S9, maybe a little better, coming from Atlanta. So what's your weather like down there today?
Well, it has been sunny and nice, just a fall day. We have frontal passage headed our way from North Alabama, and I think it's starting to cloud up a little bit. We're getting a little breeze. We'll probably get some rain out of it before it's over with, and then it's supposed to clear up, and we're supposed to have the pretty weather for about 5 days in a row. But it's been very nice. I was just looking at your station. It looks nice. I have an upstairs and a downstairs shack situation. I experienced some mobility issues in the last 2-3 years, and I decided it would be simple to put together a station in the den, so I did that. And it has evolved into an FT 101MP, and I'm driving a Quadra amp, so they go together very nicely. And the antenna, let's see, we're on 15, is 3 element with an A4WS Fishcraft. But great to hear activity here on 15. I worked a friend over in South Africa earlier today. He's pretty consistent, and so is the band. People don't realize it. It's open. It's open almost every day. So there you go. N7RMK, WA4GZK.
WA4GZK, N7RMK. Yeah, absolutely. 15. If 20 is going, 15's probably got a little something, but it's definitely within the last month, I'd say it's come alive. And I don't know if that's just that people have started to understand that it's here or what, but so I think we forget, that 10, 15, 17, and 12, like you said, they all work all the time. You might not get worldwide DX on them, but you go out on 28-400 on 10 meters and start hollering. Every once in a while somebody's listening. They come back to you, and it's not going to be real far away. You might get the next state, within 1,000 miles. It usually works pretty good, but everybody's, the band's closed, nobody's there, and it's just not the truth. And I wish more people would get out and make noise. A lot of times, especially on these modern radios, they'll get out there, they'll look at the scope, and there's nope, I don't see no signals. They shut it off and go away. And I've never been that way. I turn on, like, oh man, no signals. All right, well, let's start making some noise and see what we get. That's how today started, and the signals were weak, and now they're coming up. It's kind of good. It's nice to see that the activity's out here, and now that people are stacking up, I hear there was more people that just came back. I was like, whoa, why do they all want to talk to me? And it's because we're out here making noise. It's something to do, so it's definitely cool. Shameless plug. I record all these QSOs on the phone here, with video of the screen, so you can see your signal and hear your audio. So if you look up my call on YouTube, N7RMK, you look that up on YouTube, and you can check out what you sound like out here in Las Vegas. You're about an hour into the video, so you can fast forward through. This morning was bad. I don't know that people are going to watch much of that video, but anyhow, with all that said, we'll throw it back to you for one more time around, Bill, and then we'll pick up some of these other stations out there. So WA4GZK, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's been propagation all around today. I've worked in Mexico. I've worked stationed in Moscow. Worked up to Switzerland, Luxembourg, and South Africa, down to Puerto Rico, and now out west with you. So all of that was 15, 12, 17, but no 10 yet. So still a nice mixture, and it's wonderful to hear the activity. Well, go ahead and see what you can do. I'm going to relax for a little bit. I think my son's coming over this afternoon to visit, and I'm feeling pretty lazy, so I don't know if we get any work done, but we'll visit. Anyway, it's good to meet you. Nice signal here, S9 Plus, and just so good to hear activity on the band. N7RMK, WA4GZK, 73 from here, Ryan, and I'm sure we'll hear you again.
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. Fantastic talking with you, and definitely enjoyed it. And absolutely, yeah, we'll hear each other on the bend many, many more times, I am sure. Until then, my friends, 73s, and we're getting close enough. We'll start saying happy holidays with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up. Alrighty, we'll clear with Bill and call QRZ. Who else is out there wanting to talk to me today?
K9 Charlie Echo Golf.
K9 Charlie Echo Golf. Fantastic sounding station.
Okay, thank you. My name is Chris, Charlie Hotel Romeo India Sierra. Hang on a minute. And I'm located up here in the state of Wisconsin, over.
Oh yeah, QSL there, Chris, in Wisconsin. I got you pulled up here on the QRZ. Look at all that snow in that picture. Definitely sounded great down here in Las Vegas today. The name here is Ryan, Romeo Yankee Alpha November. Let's see, we're wall-to-wall sunshine, no wind, looking for about 72 degrees for the temperature today.
Okay, yeah, we're, what are we? We're 36 degrees with 25 mile an hour wind, so it's not a real nice day out there. A little bit of snow flurry activity, a little bit of rain. Kind of just a sloppy overall day. Like I said, my name's Chris. I'm running, about 500 watts into a Pushcraft Tribander and ICOM 7600.
Well, I tell you, it's doing a great job out here. About a S5, S6, which seems to be pretty standard today, coming from the West Coast or Western end of the country, or sorry, from the East Coast out here to the West. But sounded fantastic, and the 7600 sounds great on the band. I don't know if you copied the traffic or not. We're running a 7300 into an Ameritron 811H, so about 800 watts into a tri-band TH66 high gain at about 50 feet pointed out in your general direction. So there's the operating conditions from Las Vegas.
Okay, yeah, real good. Yeah, I was sitting here listening. I think a couple of QSOs ago, you guys were talking about telescopes and stuff, and not too often you hear that telescope talk on the radio, and that kind of sparked my interest. I'm pretty much just starting out into the telescope thing. I bought one a while back, one that it's something to get out there and see if I would even like it, and of course I outgrew it, and kind of debating on getting a different one. I'm I live out in the country here, so I do get some fairly decent skies. There is some light pollution sometimes, but for the most part, I could get out there and see a couple nebulas and do this, that, and the other thing. But I'm kind of undebated what I want to get, and I'm kind of soul searching, just kind of shopping around, looking what to get. And like I said, it's not too often you hear people out here talking about little green men. Over.
Yeah, copy the little green man. Yeah, I've never seen any of those in the telescope, but definitely plenty of nebula, planets, galaxies, stuff like that. And it always ends up being a kind of a philosophical moment when you're sitting there on Earth looking through your stars and to see somebody else's stars goes back to I'm sure there's intelligent life out there somewhere. So you start feeling pretty small as you look out into the cosmos there. And as far as getting a new telescope, yeah, it seems that once you get bit by the bug and you get hooked, that first telescope doesn't last long, and you're looking for something better. And my biggest advice is, because the best telescope out there is the one that you'll use. And with that thought in mind, as you're looking at these telescopes, your bank account might be able to afford a 15-inch telescope, or even a big 11 or 14-inch, something like that. But you had to stop and think, can your back afford that? So the best telescope that you can buy is the one that you will use. So when you're looking for it, think of the weight considerations, the setup, and stuff like that. Unless you're going to put it into a dome where it's always set up, you can just go out in the backyard and watch. We'll see what's going on in the sky. So that's my advice is to buy the telescope that you'll be able to move around, set up, and use for many, many years to come. And that'll be the one that you're the most happy with.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I know a friend of mine. He lives down across the border, down in Illinois, down there, and he's into the astronomy stuff too. And he said pretty much so the same thing. The big scopes are nice, but remember you got to move them around unless you can pour a concrete pad and build it in and leave it sit there. But no, that's not my plan. I'm actually looking at probably maybe just say like an 8 or 10 inch Dobson scope. I'm kind of leaning in that direction. To me, it's kind of like the best bang for the buck, and it's something that later on I could probably, if I wanted to put it on an equatorial mount, I could spend the money on a mount and I'll transfer it over. But I'm kind of leaning more towards like I said, maybe a 10-inch Dobson scope.
Oh, see, that'd be perfect. Like I was telling the other gentleman, a friend of mine, he's since passed away. He had moved away from here and now has passed away, unfortunately. But he had an 18-inch Dobsonian mounted telescope that was manufactured by a company called Obsession, and they make just absolutely beautiful scopes. And their optics are just another thing. It's just amazing. And it was about, the eyepiece was about, the way a Dobsonian moves, you can get it up about eye level, and I'm pretty tall, so I could put a wide angle on there and kind of just walk around like taking a tour through the cosmos there, and it was just the most amazing thing to see. And we'd look at like Horsehead nebulas and the Crab. I mean, a lot of the faint objects in that big scope were easy to see. I've got an 8-inch what is it? It's I can't remember the name. Celestron. 8-inch Celestron scope with the go-to feature on it and all that, and it works out pretty well. It's been a little while since I pulled it out, and all this telescopes talk is making me think, man, maybe it's time to pull the scope out now that it's not 1,000,000 degrees outside, and get out in the desert somewhere and look at the sky.
Yeah, that's what I bought. I bought a cheaper one, only like I said, to see if I would even like to get my feet wet in it. So I bought a Celestron. I think it's a 127. I think it was the model number, and it's got comes a equatorial mount, kind of not nothing fancy. And I think it's a 6-inch, 5.5 or 6-inch scope. And I can look at the moon and and things like that, and a couple planets there I can see, but I can't really get into a star all that well. And I did buy an upgraded lens for it. I think I bought a 12 millimeter Celestron lens. The lens was a hell of an upgrade from the ones that came with it. I think the Pelosi's came with it, and I upgraded to one of the Celestron better ones. I forget what the name of it is. I think it's a 12 millimeter, and that's night and day. And so big money comes in the optical part of it, but I am probably going to settle on the Dobson. I don't know if I'll do an 8-inch or spend the extra couple $100 and get a 10-inch right away. I think, but that'd be about as big as I go, because like I said, I got to move it around and set it up and do all that other stuff and take it from there. So anyway, Ryan, like I said, you're talking scopes, and it sparked my interest earlier. I know there's probably some other people out there that probably want to work you, so. You said you post all these conversations, QSOs on YouTube. I'll go take a look at that later. I don't know how often you post them or how live it is, but for what it's worth, I don't know if you're into it or not, watch for the SpaceX to go up tonight. They're going to shoot 4 astronauts up to the space station tonight. I think at about 6:30 my time. I don't know what time it would be your time, but I don't know if you're into that stuff. But if you are, check it out. Anyway, take care, Ryan. Nice talking at you, and have a great day and a nice Thanksgiving coming up. N7 RMK, K9 Charlie Echo Golf.
Yeah, Chris, definitely all of that. I'd see your talk telescopes all day long. But I can tell you, my dad's got a 6-inch of the exact same telescope I do, and then my 8-inch, they're the exact same telescope except for the optics or the size. His is 6, mine's 8. And it is remarkable the difference in what you can see between the two. So if you go all the way up to a 10-inch, which honestly isn't a huge scope, you're going to be fascinated. And as far as the lenses go, the optics, they're a little pricey, but they're worth every penny. Telvue, Telveu, Telvue optics are the ones that I like. A little pricey, but you get what you pay for sure. So, and then, yeah, very good. As far as the YouTube goes, basically, I don't post every day. I'll post today because I'm out here talking and recording it. Yeah, it's just off the phone. You get to see your signal report and hear your audio. You're at about the hour, right around the hour mark as well. We've been talking a little bit. I'm an hour and 11 minutes in to the conversation now. So it'll be posted up later this evening. And then as far as SpaceX, yeah, I think it's around 3:30 my time. And it's definitely on the must-do. If it flies, anything that flies, I am fascinated and interested in it. So it's pretty cool. I get to live right next to an Air Force base that has all of the cool planes with Red Flag and all the training they do out here. So very good, Chris. Yeah, lots of people out there. So check out the videos if you're interested in it. Subscribe and hear what I do. I post here, there, and everywhere, but it'll give you a little reminder that it's on there on the YouTube. And it's just N7RMK. You search that on YouTube and my channel will pop up. That's the name of the channel. So good talking to you, and I hope to catch you on down the band. Your signal's bounced up greatly. It's been over about 10 over S9. So we'll have to let you know that you're definitely doing a good job. K9 CEG from N7RMK. 73s, my friend.
Yep, take care.
N7RMK, QRZ. We lost the audience. CQ, N7 RMK. Calling CQ.
Maybe Area 51 scared him.
Oscar Whiskey Hotel.
Yeah, Area 51's the ones that got them. They're gone now.
How far are you from there?
Probably about 95, 100 miles, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's right around where Art Bell used to transmit out of.
Yeah, Art Bell was over in Pahrump, right? So he's the next valley over the Spring Mountains from here. I'm in Las Vegas, in Nevada. What's your call?
Oh, this is Chris, K9CG. I was just listening a little bit yet.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, that voice still sounded familiar. Yeah, I don't know. We had a whole pile up when you called in, so I don't know. Maybe we bored them talking about telescopes. Oh well.
Oh, I could talk about it all day too, but I'll sit around and listen. If you get a call, fine. If not, I'll sit around and listen for a little bit.
All right, cool. Sounds good. There might have been another station in there. It was real faint. Let's see. Maybe they come back. N7RMK QRZ. Ooh, Kilo 8 radio. I've got you S0 and about a 1 on the audio. I can hear you, but I doubt we'll be able to talk. Let's see if we can get at least one round so you can get in the book. I believe it was Kilo 8 radio. QSL on the 5x6. You are literally I'm going to give you a 3x0. You're not showing up on my meter at all, but just enough that I can hear you in there. So I don't know if you're running QRP or what, but I got you in there. Unfortunately, that's all I can give you though. We'll give you a 3x0 on the signal report. But you are there, and I did hear you. All right, just want to make sure you got the call right because I might not be hearing it right, but you might have it. It's November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilowatt, K. All right, I think you got it. 100 watts on a wire out there doing it. So I heard you out here in Vegas. But that's about it. 73s, man. We'll catch you on down the log. Anybody else out there? N7RMK, QRZ.
That's Kilo 8, Victor India, November Portable.
Kilo 8 portable station. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Kilo 8, Victor India, November Portable. The name here is Kevin, and I'm located at the south end of Lake Huron in Michigan there. Over.
All right, Kevin from Michigan. Name here is Ryan, Romeo Yankee, Alpha November. And the call sign is November 7, Radio, Mexico, Kilowatt. And we're out here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job from Las Vegas there. I'm using a 7300 with a Silver Bullet 1000 coil and a 17-foot telescopic whip antenna. It's an MFJ 1979, and I've got that mounted on about a 10-foot tripod stand there, QSL.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Yeah, I've got you a solid S5. Audio is Q5, so 5.5 coming back here to Vegas. So yeah, you're doing a remarkable job with such a low-level antenna there. I might have the call sign wrong. Is it Kilo 8 Victor India November, or did I get that wrong?
No, you have that right. It's Kilo 8 Victor India November. K-E-I-N, and the name is Kevin. And you're probably looking at the QRZ page, which says Florida. I'm actually up in Michigan visiting my brother right now. So I do live in Land O'Lakes, Florida, if that's what you're looking at there. And by the way, you're coming in at about 10 over 9. Real good signal here. Over.
Oh, okay, yeah, QSL on all of that. Yep, I was confused. I figured I did something wrong, but lo and behold, I was right and confused. So that's cool. So that explains the low-level antenna and all that, and of course the portable. So that's awesome that you're not even on the big station and making a fine trip out here to Las Vegas. There is a little QSB, so it drops down every once in a while, but pretty much rolling anywhere from a 5.5, sometimes down to around a 5.3, but definitely easy copy.
I appreciate the flowers there, and you're coming through, like I said, at about 10 over 9, and real good audio, good signal. Real good. So you're out in Vegas there, over?
Yes, sir. Out here in Las Vegas, we're looking at wall-to-wall sunshine, no breeze, about 72 degrees for the high today. Typical fall day out here in the desert. And we're running an IC7300, about 800 watts on the amplifier into a 6-element tri-bander at 50 feet, pointed out in your general direction. So we're doing a little bit different situation out here, but your portable setup is definitely working.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, you're like I said, you're 10 over. That's a solid 10 over 9, no problem. And I'm using the same radio that you're using there with Barefoot. So I guess my 7300 is working and doing its job for me. Would you say your first name was your handle, over?
Yeah, the name here is Ryan, Romeo Yankee Alpha November.
Okay, Ryan. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you tonight, and I'm glad you picked me up there. I just turned the radio on and decided to check and see what's on. And man, I'll tell you, the sunspots are in there because most of the bands are wide open. 12 and a few of the other ones that I was checking into there are wide open, man. I can't believe how many signals are on there, over.
Yeah, you're the second guy that's mentioned 12 meters. I might have to switch over to the vertical later and see if I can get some 12 meters in. It's 9:30 in the morning here, so the band is getting better as the sun gets a little higher in the sky. So maybe I'll get lucky and get some 12 and maybe even some 10 down into South America today. we shall see. So, all right, Kevin. Well, glad you were out there. There was quite a few people in the pileup, so let's try to give everybody a chance. We'll go back to you for one more time, and then we'll say 73s. K8VIN from N7 RMK. Back to you.
RMK, K8VIN returning back to you. Yeah, it's about 53 degrees here, just to let you know what the weather's doing up here on the southern end of Lake Huron. It wasn't too bad of a day. It was fairly nice, a little bit of rain, but, not too heavy. A lot of wind today, though. The winds have calmed down to about 17 miles an hour currently, but they were up there blowing things around. And thank God that I'm using a window pass-through. I'm sitting in my brother's house with the antenna out in his backyard that I set up, and everything's still there. I stuck a sandbag on that. What I've got is a speaker stand that you use to hold up a couple speakers in like a church or whatever, and I've got that in a chameleon jaw mount clamp. I've got the antenna clamped onto the top of that, which is about 10 foot up, and I'm also using 3 radials on this thing also that are elevated above ground, so I guess my antenna's working, and it's nice to have the adjustability of the coil on there, and the telescopic part of the whip makes it nice to bring everything into resonance. Anyway, I'll let you go there, and you have a blessed day, and stay safe, and don't take any wooden nickels out there in Vegas. Have a good one. This is Kilo 8, Victor India, November. Back to you, and have a beautiful night. 7-3.
All right, Kevin. Well, great setup, and yeah, thanks for the advice on that. We'll watch out for those wooden nickels. Kevin, you have a great day. Thanks for being out there. 73s, my friend. November 7, Radio Mexico Kilo, QRZ.
Whiskey 4, Echo Mike Bravo.
Whiskey 4, Echo Mike Bravo. Come on in, sir.
Hey, good morning for you there, Ryan. Name here on this end is Ed, Echo Delta, here in Woodlawn, Tennessee, pretty near the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Just coming to you on 100 watts and a hex beam, over.
Well, I tell you what, dude, I was not expecting to hear 100 watts and a hex beam. You're solid 5.9 coming into Vegas here with fantastic audio. We're running the 7300, about 800 watts into a 6-element high gain beam pointed your direction, about 50 foot off the ground. Man, you sound fantastic. I thought you were in the next city over.
Oh, that's great. I'd love to hear that. I'm actually using a D104 microphone, which are, a dime a dozen, but this one has a 9-volt battery in the base of it. But for the element that's in this D104 microphone, it has a Heil HC4 element. I believe they quit making them a while back, but it's called a Heil HC4. It's an older element, and it looks like a piece of chiclet's gum with a hole in it. And I swear, ever since I've used this element, I've doubled my log. It really gets through the pile-ups, and I haven't even really used the amp much at all this year at all, over.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely has a D104 sound to it. There's no doubt about that, but it's not that nasty. I say nasty. I use it too when necessary, but I call it the DX audio, where it's all really pinched off and really narrow. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds you got going there, and it's got a very unique sound to it. I like it. Not to do too many shameless plugs at one time, but I don't know if you copy the traffic. I video record all these QSOs and put them up on YouTube so that people can see their signal and hear what their audio sounds like coming my way. You're at about the hour and 20 mark. I'm not live, but it'll be posted probably whenever I decide to get off the radio. It usually takes about an hour for everything to upload and get online there. So if you've never heard what you sound like out here, to give you the opportunity, you can check it out. Again, it's just my call, N7RMK. You look that up on YouTube, and you'll be able to hear yourself. So I like the way it sounds. D104 with the HC4 element in it, even with a little amplified, it sounds good. I like it.
Oh, that's great. Well, you were having that last QSO with the previous gentleman. Yeah, I went to your website there, to your YouTube, and I run 2 YouTube YouTubes. Actually, I have my own YouTube, but I'm also running one for the Ham Radio Club here called Kilo Foxtrot 4 Lima, and it's called the CATS, Clarksville Amateur Transmitting Society. We've just started a YouTube channel, and since most of the members are older and we really just can't get face-to-face to meet anymore, I've been having a couple of the fellas over here at the house, and we've been shooting live meetings over the air. But yeah, I stopped by there, and I'll hit subscribe here as soon as we jump off here. I also have my own YouTube, but my previous life definitely wasn't anything about websites or YouTube. But I dropped you an email there so you can check ours out as well. Over.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll check that out when we get off the air here. I wrote it down as well, the Kilo Fox 4 Lima, and then wrote YouTube over it. Yeah, I'm new to it. I had a lot of friends that were like, man, what's this ham radio thing you're doing here? Kind of a nerd, are you? And I'm like, well, you got to check it out. You know, it's not like what you would think. You know, it's not a bunch of stuffy old men out here complaining about this and that. You know, we got a lot of good conversations, talk to people all over the world, and you know, of course, our next thing is, well, why don't you just pick up the phone or a chat room? And like, yeah, you just don't get it. So I said, I tell you what, I'll make some YouTube videos. You guys can check it out and see what it's all about. And I don't expect any of them to ever become hams, but maybe they'll get a little bit of an idea of why I have so much fun doing it. And that's the whole reason for recording and putting it out there. And then it turns out people like to hear themselves, and they'll check it out. So that's cool. I know I have. You know, other guys will say the same thing. Yeah, you're live on YouTube. I'm like, oh, Craig, let me check that out and get a kick out of hearing what I sound like from across the country, because you just never get to hear your radio. You know what I mean? So it's definitely cool. And who knows? Maybe one of my friends will decide to come over and play radio one day.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone to websdr.org and tried to tune into some of those radios there on the internet and tried to listen to my own microphone, because I get a lot of compliments on this microphone. I'm definitely glad to hear it. But yeah, I've not been on 15 in a very long time, and I just happened to come over here. I'm using the Yaesu 991A, and it's got the waterfall on there, and I saw your signal and tuned around to it. I answered your QSO once, but I forgot it had my being pointed the opposite way. I was actually pointed east because I was making some contacts on 17 earlier. I talked to Spain and Scotland, Slovenia, the Netherlands, and Belgium all this morning there on 15. It was coming in quite good. Kind of faded out a little bit there, so I just decided to turn west and see what was going on your way over.
Okay, yeah, I'm jealous of y'all, you guys living on that end of the country. I did Switzerland and the Czech Republic on 20, and then came over here and started hollering CQ. Everybody's been in the United States except for one guy that I could barely hear. He was in France, and everybody on the East Coast keeps telling me, oh yeah, 15's been fantastic all morning, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, as I'm over here, I can't hear anybody. Actually, I started out on 305. And somebody ran me off of there and said, hey, there's a guy in Germany calling CQ. And I was like, oh, I can't hear him. Was he here first? He's like, yeah, he was here first. I was like, all right, I'll move. So, anyway. But then again, I guess it's the opposite side when I'm talking to China and Japan, Australia, Indonesia, and all those countries in the afternoons that you guys don't hear on the West Coast in the afternoons or evenings. Because all you hear is us over here. Making too much noise as we're talking to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely jealous of that. I made a voice contact with Japan, and that's when I was using my amp, and I forget what band I was on when I made it, but I've never had an amp up until this past year, and I don't talk on it a whole lot. It gets into the TV, and so that, of course, that doesn't make any other members of the family too happy when I keep knocking the TV out over.
Yeah. When I first set up with the amp, I've only had what I call a real station for a year myself now, and I know I shouldn't say that because you know we all started out with 100 watts on a wire, and had a blast with it, and made lots of contacts. But that was my entire station. It was 100 watts and a temporary wire when I could set one up for years. I didn't even get on the air with a young family and all that. I'm young in radio years. I'm only 43, so I'm just a child out here on the HF bands. But now that I've got a more permanent station, you know, I got the amplifier, the big beam, and all that stuff, and of course I still have the wire for 40 and 80 and all that. But it's definitely made a difference. But that being said, 100 watts in a wire from the West Coast into Japan and Indonesia and places like that is no sweat at all when the conditions are there.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. I'm about the same way. I just got this amp last year, and just got this hex beam last year. Before that, 100 watts in a wire myself. Matter of fact, on my QRZ page, the picture in the top right corner is an antenna that I invented or made. I called it the EdTenna, and that was my only HF antenna for the first 9 years. It was just that simple thing I made. It's just a PVC pipe with a coil up on top and a couple eye bolts, and the wires are hooked onto the eye bolts with hooks. And those are actually my radiating elements, and that's what I used for the first 9 years was my EdTenna sitting in the front yard. And in the picture on QRZ, you see my son next to me, and but he's 18 and 6'1" now, so tells you how long ago that picture was taken. But and I got a couple of pictures up there. One of them is hauling the X beam up to the tower. Now that it's up, I need to get out there and take a couple more pictures and post it. But Ryan, I appreciate you taking my call. I won't keep you long. I'll let you get on some of those others. But look forward to seeing your YouTube video there, and hopefully you'll check us out there at kf4l.org. It's also a website for our ham club, and subscribe. It'd be great to have you on there. But thanks for taking my call, Ryan, and hope to meet you again further down the long. And great signal, great sound coming from Las Vegas to Tennessee. This is W4EMB, and I'll be clear as you final, sir.
Alrighty, W4EMB and 7RMK. Yeah, sounds great. And yeah, it's awesome. You know, the pictures of the kids. My son's 21 and my daughter's about to turn 18 now. So I guess it's my turn, right? Anyhow, yeah, fantastic on the homemade antenna. We've got a bunch of guys out here on GMRS radio, and we're trying to, you know, kind of coax them along to bring them into the ham world, get their licenses and whatnot. And in fact, this week on the net, we're going to be talking about the tech and that I'm doing a speech on the general and the extra, trying to bring these guys along. And the first thing they always say is, well, yeah, you got, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment to talk on those bands. And I'm like, no. A used radio for a couple $100 and a wire antenna, you're talking to the world, and they just don't seem to believe it. So we're gonna have to prove it to them again. All right, Kevin. It was not. I'm sorry, Ed. Sorry, the guy before you was Kevin. Have a good one, 73s, and we'll definitely check out your YouTube and the club kf4l.org. We'll give that all a check out. 73s, and we definitely hope to catch you down the log. N7RMK QRZ.
75
W5, was it TDY?
correct, 55. Thank you. Here's Jerry, 45 miles north of Atlanta. Just got the email here, and you're just doing an outstanding job, folks.
QSL, I've got, honestly, I've got you at a 3-0. I can hear you, I can't see you on the meter. It was enough to get your call sign, though, and I do appreciate the flowers doing a fine job back there. They got you looked up here on Facebook and, or I'm sorry, on QRZ. We got you pulled up there, Jerry. Name here's Ryan, Romeo Yankee Alpha November.
Okay, Ryan. Hey, I switched over the antenna. See if something else will happen. Here, I'm talking to you off of a wide dipole. So try again. Do you copy me okay, or I won't hold you for nothing?
Yeah, I've got you about an S3 now. You definitely came up, so yeah, you're in there.
Okay. Well, hey, I appreciate it very much. Yeah, my station stood down for a while, and I built a wire dipole the other day, got it up, and finally getting back onto the air again. So I appreciate you picking up my call, Ryan.
No problem at all. It's good to hear you out there. The conditions have gotten better, you know, coming back and forth across the country. It's just about 10 o'clock here in Vegas. 72 degrees is what we're looking for the high. It's wall-to-wall sunshine and not a breeze blowing. It's one of those great days that I should be outside, and here I am having fun on the radio. But, you know, some days it's so nice out there, you just got to leave it out there.
Yeah, roger that. The weather here is kind of open. But this week it's going to get down into the 40s and 30s, I believe. My wife and I are going camping, so we're looking forward to that. Many years ago when I was in Las Vegas, I can't remember, it was 2001, but it flooded. You know, it was unbelievable. I stayed at the Hard Rock Hotel, and the street out front of it became a river. And people would stand there for a day or two. So don't know if you were there back then, but that was one of the memories I have of Las Vegas. Really easy down there, just flooding in the desert.
Yeah, well, it doesn't rain out here that often, and when it does, it can come down pretty quick with those thunderstorms. And then our ground is so hard, and with the lack of vegetation and all that stuff as well, the water just runs off of it. So yeah, flash flooding's always been a big issue here. I've been here basically all my life. I moved here when I was 2 years old with my dad. It was in the Air Force, and got stationed here, and this is where he met my mom and all that stuff. So anyhow, been here since I was 2 years old. I'm 43 now, and it used to be that it would rain anywhere in town, and it was flash flooding throughout. They've spent billions of dollars with the Regional Flood Control District, as they call it, to make sure that they move as much of that water safely through town as they can. But we still have some issues in some places that still gets it pretty bad. And then they're like, okay, well, now we know where the next project's going to be when they see that. So you faded off a little bit. You're dropping back down into the S1, S2 area. So before I lose you completely, we'll pass it back to you one more time and say 73s. So we'll give it back to you one more time there, Jerry, and then we'll probably have to go before I lose you completely.
Pretty good, Ryan. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was fading a little bit. I had you a solid 5, 8, 5, 9, but your audio just booms in, low noise level. So glad that I'm making the trip with 100 watts. Thank you for picking me up, and I hope to catch you again later on down the log. Thank you for the fine QSO. N7 RMK 73 from W5TDY. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for being out there. W5TDY, we're clear, and N7 RMK QRZ. Ooh, real weak one in there. Try it one more time.
Here's Alpha 4, Echo Hotel, AA4EH.
All right, AA4EH. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, good morning to you. My name is Ed, Echo Delta, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Kind of a fall-like day today, overcast and breezy. It's going to be a little bit cooler this week. Back to you, AA4EH.
All righty, you're the second Ed within the last couple of minutes, so that's kind of cool. It's not a different name, but not so common, and then to have two in a row or real close to each other. The weather out here in the desert, we're wall-to-wall sunshine, not a breeze blowing, looking for 72 degrees. Typical fall day out here in the desert. The name here is Ryan, Romeo Yankee Alpha November. And we're just out here making some noise on 15 meters here, seeing what we can hear.
Yeah, indeed. It's a real pleasure to turn on the radio and hear stations on 15 meters and to hear stations with a good signal. Here's about a 5 by 7, 5 by 8. Trying to go up and down a little bit. Using 100 watts here at Edward TS 590 to a Carolina Wyndham 160 meters version that's about 260 feet long, and the ends are mounted about 70 feet in the air with a big group in the middle. How are you copying me this morning, Ryan? Over.
Well, there is a little bit of QSB on the band for sure, but mostly you're 5 by 5. It does drop down every once in a while with the QSB. You'll drop down to about a 5.0 on the S meter, but your audio is definitely staying there. It sounds fantastic. In fact, you can check that out on YouTube later on. Just use my call sign, and we'll put the video up here about an hour and 40 minutes in. You'll be able to hear what you sound like. Here we're running a 7300 into an Ameritron 811H, doing about 800 watts, into a 6-element TH6DXX that's about 50 feet in the air, and generally pointed east from Las Vegas. So that's the operating conditions here, and you're doing fantastic. Sound great coming back this way.
Yeah, very good. Well, it's I've been off the air a lot for the past few weeks, and it's nice to turn on the radio after being gone for a while and hearing the signals that I'm hearing now on 15, and I was going to take a step up to 10 meters in just a minute and see what was going on up there. But sunspots are back, that is for sure. All right, Ryan, well, let me get moving along here. Maybe you can make some more contacts there from Nevada. opportunity to return, given everything that's going on. We'll see, fingers crossed. 73s at Louis Beer Front, A4EH.
AA4EH and 7RMK returning. Yeah, we are open for business. I guess there is a little bit of a rise in the statistics right now, but we'll take that for whatever that means. I don't know. But as of right now, yeah, everything's open for business. So hopefully people can start coming back and enjoying what we have to offer. I say everything. It's definitely limited on what you can do, but the resorts are at about 50% capacity. Ed, fantastic hearing you out there on the band. And yeah, I've heard people give reports of 12 meters being having some contacts, and so I would assume 10 will probably be going. It's getting pretty close to just afternoon for you there, so yeah, definitely should be having some conditions. So enjoy that, and we'll catch you on down the band. AA4EH, we're clear with you. N7RMK, QRZ.
73 Lions will look for you again. Have a great Sunday out there in Las Vegas. See you.
All right, Ed, you too, and 73s, my friend. N7RMK, QRZ. November 4, X-Ray Mike Zulu. Very, very light, but I got you. I'm not quite sure what's on 15 for you. Like I said, you're very, very light, sir. Yeah, I'm just not pulling it out what you're saying there, buddy. One more time. We'll give it one more time. I'm not going to give up too quickly. One more time.
It sounds like Marjorie has a roof here on 15, but you are the Oasis. Beautiful signal here in Lakeside, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I wasn't sure what you were trying to tell me, but hey, I do appreciate that. I do appreciate all the great signal reports. Just getting this station worked out and getting things going. So I definitely appreciate it. And I'm not sure what it is. Some stations are very strong coming from the East Coast, and some aren't. And then there's QSB, so heck, it's probably just down in a lull. But I did hear what you were saying that time, and I do appreciate the flowers on that. That being said, we've got you in the log here, the November 4 X-Ray Mike Zulu station. Cleve, it looks like, if I've got that all right.
That's about it. This is very Cleve here. And we're on 7300 also, but we are also on wire at 100 watt. Anyway, looking forward to that answer here.
All right, sounds very good. So I got you in the log, and we'll have to say 73s. Definitely hope to catch you down the log, maybe with a little better conditions so that we can hear a little better. But we got you in the log. So Cleve, 73s to you. Stay safe, healthy, and have some happy holidays. We're going to go ahead and clear. 73s.
Whiskey 4 Kilo Lima Foxtrot.
Alrighty, November 7, Radio Mexico Kilo. I believe it was a Whiskey 4 Kilo Lima Foxtrot?
Yes, sir. Operator Ken in Kentucky. Just want to let you know you were talking about getting signal reports. CUR 10 plus, sometimes 20 plus here in Kentucky. Over.
Oh, wow. Thanks for that, for sure. That's thank you. Glad I'm getting it out there. You're sounding great coming back here yourself. Definitely an S9, maybe just a little over S9. We're here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and running a 7300 Meritron 811H, doing about 800 watts into a 6-element high gain at 50 feet, pointing due east out of Las Vegas.
Thank you, SL. Well, myself, I'm running FTDX 101 Delta, roughly 85 watts right now. I haven't turned the amp on, I haven't got it tuned for this frequency, running a JK antenna pointing due west. Over.
Oh, copy that. Well, you're fantastic on the Barefoot there. And solid 9S units and fantastic audio on that 101 Echo. Great sounding station.
right. Well, I'll back out of the way. I just wanted to I heard you talking about your signal reports and stuff, and I figured I'd throw one at you. This is Whiskey 4 Kilo Lima Foxtrot.
All right, Ken, sounds good. I do appreciate you being out there and picking it up. 73s, and we'll catch you on down the log. W4KLF is clear, and this is N7RMK. QRZ.
November 4, Charlie Whiskey Bravo. Juliet Mike.
All right, there's a bunch of you in there, but the loudest of the bunch was November 4, Charlie Whiskey Bravo. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Roger, I guess this is Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Roger, well, this is Craig, and you're 5'9" in South Carolina with great audio.
I do appreciate it. You're definitely booming in here as well. I hadn't looked at the meter yet. If I'm going to guess, it's definitely going to be over S9, so I'll give you the legit report on your way back.
Hey, Roger, and 73, and I appreciate the contact on another band. 73.
You're 73. Yeah, you're solid S9 coming into Las Vegas here, so you're doing a great job. 73 is my friend. N7 RMK QRZ.
Whiskey Delta 8, Juliet Mike. Kilo Delta 9, Charlie Echo.
The Whiskey Delta 8 station.
Yeah, Whiskey Delta 8, Juliet Mike. Jeff here in Michigan. You got one massive signal in today. You're 10 over S9 into the northeast of Grand Rapids area.
QSL on the Grand Rapids. You're anywhere from an S8 to an S9 coming back here into Las Vegas. Sound fantastic as well. Definitely 15 is coming alive.
Absolutely. It's about time. It's been awful quiet down here, but yeah, I know you're on a 6 element. I'm just running 100 watts into an off-center fed wire hanging into the trees, so I'll take it when I can get it, Roger.
I tell you what, man, if I sound half as good as y'all do with no power, I'm going to sell this amplifier because apparently I won't need it. Well, let's see. You know what? I'm going to click it off at doing about 65 watts out of the radio. Let me click it off and see what it does. All right, there's no amplifier. If you tell me there's no difference, I'll have it for sale.
But yeah, pressure difference are about audio is tremendously good.
Okay, I had a couple of you coming back there. That was interesting. WD8JM N7RMK. Go ahead, sir. This is with the amp off. Am I going to sell it or is it working when I turn it on?
Well, you dropped not quite. Yeah, you're still in there. Audio is still tremendously huge. You dropped, I'd say down to about a 5, but yeah, you're still plenty copyable. You know, and you know the old adage is, it's all about the aluminum in the sky, Roger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There, I kicked it back on. Yeah, this antenna is definitely it's a good one. There's no doubt about it. I was 100 watts in a wire for the longest time. Got an amplifier, was an amplifier and a wire, and I live on the same property as my parents do, in a little outhouse, like a casita, we'll call it. I don't want to call it the outhouse, that ain't right. In a casita, and I finally said, you know what, Pops, you're not using that antenna up there. Let me see if I can resurrect it and see if it works, blah, blah, blah. It's been up in the air since 1983. Anyway, I plugged the coax that had also been up there since 1983 into the radio here. Did some SWR readings and was like, oh my gosh, there's an antenna up there. This is looking good. So I threw the amplifier on it as well, and it held the power. I was like, all right, this is going to work. Hit the switch on the rotor, and it didn't move. All right, I got you. Pull the rotor down, service the rotor, put new coax on it, new rotor control cable, and here we go. I learned really quick that this 6 element, it's a TH6DXX from High Gain. I started doing some research on it. Apparently it was the last antenna that High Gain ever designed that they actually used and tested on an RF field, not a computer. And turns out it was one of the golden antennas of its era.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, with the Chinese Red Death that we've had to deal with all year, I was going to put up another tower, but that didn't actually materialize this year. I was going to leave the one that's up for UHF, and I was going to put up another one, but it happened. I guess it'll be next year at this point before it goes up.
Yeah. Fortunately, I like that the red China virus, and that's exactly what it is. There, I don't want to get too much into politics on the radio, but they could have contained it in China. There's definitely some political moves that went on there. Past that, hopefully we get through this, and I have confidence that we will. They'll get the vaccine going, and like anything else that the world's ever had come up like this, we've managed to get through it. It's unfortunate that people do die from these situations, but at the same time, unfortunately, we're all going to meet that fate eventually, one way or another. So don't get too up in arms about that. Hopefully, we get going into 2020. We'll get all this election BS behind us. I don't care who wins. Let's just move forward and get things going. My guy lost. Anyway, that's all that we're going to get into with all that. But yeah, definitely good signals. 15 meters is open. Sunspots are coming back. Hell, life can't be too bad, right?
Absolutely. Hey, I know there's a pile up waiting to get in there, so I'm going to let you go and I'll let you get back after it. November 7, RMK from Whiskey Delta 8, Juliet Mike. Hey, it's been a pleasure, my friend, and I look forward to working you again further down the line. I'll let the other stations get back at it. So, 73, and enjoy Vegas. I know I always do when I go out there. And I'll be QRT on your final.
All right, Jeff, sounds good. And yeah, check it out on YouTube. I've been telling everybody, I record this stuff, put it on YouTube. N7RMK, you look that up, you'll be able to hear your stuff on there. You're about 2 hours into it. We'll catch you later, Jeff. Have a good one. And let's see, do we still have a pile up out there? N7RMK, QRZ.
Yeah, Alpha Golf 4 November.
Alpha Golf 4 November, big signal.
Oh, yeah, I got a 20 over on you here in West Point, Georgia. Middle name here is Bill. I go by that. Yeah, great signal out of Las Vegas today.
All right, Bill. Hell, you're making a fantastic trip here. I got you about probably 10, maybe a little more over 9. Great audio coming back this way. I'm seeing the pictures here. It looks like you got yourself quite a bit of aluminum up in the air, too. So it definitely helps. Antenna.
Oh, yeah, well, I got a Cushcraft A3 tri-bander that I salvaged and rebuilt. Also, this is a homemade LDMOS amp, and on this particular frequency, it gives out a little over 1,200 watts, over.
Oh, yeah, QSL on that. Yeah, definitely, it's working for you. I'm looking at the pictures here. My next amplifier is going to be an LDMS or solid state, whatever you want to call it. Because the ease of operations, the fantasticness of it. I'm looking at your setup here. I wish I had the skills and the knowledge to build it myself. I'm the kind of guy that has to pay for it. I guess they call me an appliance operator. But looking at these pictures here, that's fantastic. It's definitely working for you. Big signal out here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, the pictures of the 2-meter amp, they're not in the box. I have it in a box, of course. I was using it talking to Florida, and they wanted to see it. But the picture at the top there, I think, is the one I'm talking on now. And it's actually very easy to build. You should look up W6Q PQL, W6PQL's website, and he has it in a kit form. Very easy to build, over.
Okay. W6 Papa Quebec Lima?
Yeah, that's it. Just Google that, and you'll see he's got a website set up. I tried to scrounge up as many parts as I could on my own, but I did use his PC boards. It makes it real convenient.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because, I can definitely solder, so, I wouldn't be able to design it or anything like that, but I can assemble the parts. I'll definitely look into that, because the amplifier that I was looking at now, maybe it's a little out of my grasp, but, hey, if you're going to dream big, is the Expert 2K is what I've been looking at, but they're proud of it. They want about $6,000 for that, but it does a lot. It self-tunes, it does everything all by itself. Antenna switching, band switching, you name it, it does it. I think if you look at the small print, it might even make you a sandwich after you get done talking on it.
Well, you build these things yourself, especially the bare bones version I have. You have to be careful to make sure that it's on the right low-pass filter. It's okay if you go in one direction, but in the other direction, if you have it in the wrong setting, it'll reflect all your power back in, which may not be good. These things are pretty rugged, but you still have to be careful.
Yeah, I've seen there's a CB guy out there. He goes by BBI. Anyway, he bought he built one of these LD Moss amplifiers, and he's like, the only way you can hurt it is if you oversaturate it, and that's pretty much what you're talking about there. Apparently, these things, they don't care about SWR frequency. They just don't care. And he reaches up there. He's got it keyed up, like putting 1,000 watts through it, and starts cutting on the coax with a pair of dikes, and it's arcing and sparking, and the thing just doesn't care. I was blown away by that.
Yeah, I like it. It's I still try to treat it right though. But next what I'm going to do, if the heat sink is big enough, I'm going to move the low pass filter and put a double pallet on there so I can get a full 1,500 watts. Okay, well, good to talk to you, and I'll listen some more. Okay.
All right, sounds good there, Bill. Again, fantastic signal coming out here to Las Vegas. Check it out on the YouTube. AG4N from N7 RMK. 73 is my friend, and QRZ.
73.
N7 RMK, N7 RMK, CQ, CQ.
VIN show?
VIN, yeah, I still got you in there.
Hey, man, I heard you turn your amp up a little bit ago. I was listening to you there. And, yeah, you definitely need the amplifier. You went down anyway to about an S2 when you shut that off. So keep the amp from now on.
Yeah, copy that. A little fire in the wire does help when the conditions are, we'll call it marginal. I appreciate it there. No problems. We'll keep it on for you. N7 RMK, QRZ.
Yeah, have a good one, my friend. 73's CADIN and 7 QRM.
7-3s. All right, let's see. We got a little bit more time here. It's good. It's about 10 o'clock, and I'm starting to think breakfast I might have missed, and that ain't right. Anyway, N7 RMK, calling CQ on 15.
Kilo 8 Lima Echo Sierra.
Kilo 8 Lima Echo Sierra. Go ahead, sir.
Well, good morning to you, and gee, I'm sorry you missed breakfast. I just had lunch, but name here is Les Lima Echo Sierra, and the QPH is in northern West Virginia. Your signal is about a 5 and 8, 58, over.
QSL on the 5.8. You're about a 5.5 here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Definitely sounding good out here. Let's see, Las Vegas in the fall, we're wall-to-wall sunshine. Not a single cloud in the sky. Maybe a slight breeze starting to blow out there, but definitely in the slight on the breeze. Looking for about 72 degrees for the high temperature today. How's the weather back there in West Virginia?
The weather here is not quite so pleasant. Very overcast, predicted severe thunderstorm with the big cold front moving in, and the temperature is more like in the low 50s. Over.
Oof, yeah. See, this is my time of year where I get to brag about the weather. You know, all summer long when everybody's talking about their 80s and 90s, and I'm talking about the 120s. The severe storms aren't no good, though. Hopefully you come through all that with no damage and nothing wrong with the radios. We deal with thunderstorms out here, but they're just little pop-up garden variety most of the time. Just enough to make some flashes in the sky and drop a little water, although we didn't get that this year. 207, I think we are, days now with no measurable precipitation. We have shattered our previous record of 150 days. So we're begging for rain, and there's none in the forecast.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty amazing. That's a long dry spell. I just popped up the weather radar here, just for curiosity's sake, and it's been raining here lightly for the last 2 or 3 hours, and I see a squall line. It's about probably an hour and a half west of us. It'll be getting here about 2:30 or so, but I think it's going to break up, and that's a good thing. May not have anything at all out of that. Over.
Oh, very good, Les. That's what we're hoping for. You know, nice light rain, a little bit of a soaker. You know, that's good to go. You get those big, powerful, severe weather thunderstorms with the wind and the lightning, it just tears stuff up. There's not really a lot of good things to come out of it. Sure, you get the rain, but man, a lot of it with a lot of other things to worry about. So hopefully it breaks up there and goes on by you and just leaves you with that little light rain. So hopefully that is the case. So anyway, K8LES from N7 RMK. Back to you, sir.
Well, it's a pretty perfect day on 15 meters. There doesn't seem to be a lot of activity on it. On this end, I'm looking at my band scope and not seeing much, but what there is very strong, and even some strong European stations. Boy, the things are looking up a little bit. Maybe Mr. Sun is going to start developing acne and give us something to be happy about this year. Over.
Yeah, it's looking promising. I think last week, heck, we were in the 90s on the SFI. It was fleeting. It was only a couple of days. Now we're back down into the low 80s. But when I say back down to the low 80s, for how long we were looking at mid to upper 60s and crying about it. So we got a little flash into the 90s. Definitely, I like that. The sun's got some acne, and it does. There's quite a few bright regions out there with some spots coming here and there. And I'm enjoying it. I really enjoy 15 meters. It's not as crowded as 20, and it's a little bit more of a challenge at times. But having a lot of fun with it. This year is the first time I've had the beam, and really it's the first of any effort I've put into 15 meters. Definitely having fun with it, and really looking forward to 10 meters opening back up. We'll get some real good propagation, get the DX going on that end of it. So, all right, Les, there was a few other stations in there calling. I'm just about out of time, and no worries, I didn't miss breakfast. I just haven't had it yet. It's 10:22, so whatever I do eat, I guess we'll call it a brunch. Waiting for my daughter to get out of bed. She's 17, almost 18 years old on the weekend, so you know what she likes to do on Sunday morning, and I didn't have the heart to go in and wake her up when I got up around 7. So it's just about time to go roust her and figure out what we're going to do for the day. Anyway, K8LES, this is N7 RMK, and we'll be clear on your final, sir.
Oh, very good. Nice meeting you today for the first time. Have fun on 15 and use that new beam. Stay safe, my friends. This is K8LES.
All right, Les, 73s, and we'll catch you on down the log. I got you in there. Let's see, a couple more. N7 RMK, QRZ.
805 Sierra.
N9 Victor X-Ray.
N9 Victor X-Ray. You won the fight there. There's a bunch of you out there.
Yeah, appreciate that. Hope I got that right. November 7, Radio Mike, Quebec. Kilo. And I'm in Indiana. And my name is Joe Juliet Oscar Echo. And just turned my radio up here to see if I can work a little 15 meters there. Go ahead.
Well, working it you are, sir. I've got you a solid S6, S7 out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The name here is Ryan, Romeo Yankee Alpha November. And you are correct on the call of N7 Radio, Mexico Kilowatt. Tell me, what's going on in your neck of the woods today?
Well, beautiful signal here. Let's say you're 5 dB over. You're between S9 and 10 over, Ryan. So I'm doing good. Well, it's a windy day here. It's not that cold. It's about 50. We have had a little rain this morning, but it's really windy. You know, I keep looking out thinking, well, am I losing any big branches or anything? As far as ham radio, I'm talking on an SDR transceiver from Apache Labs. It's the model 100B as in Bravo, and I'm doing about 350 watts out of an Ameritron ALS 600, and the antenna is 130 foot in-fed. So N7 RMK N9VX.
All right, Joe, sounds good on the SDR and the end-fed antenna there. with the 600 watts. We're running an IC 7300 with an Ameritron 811H, about 800 watts into a 6-element high gain tri-band at 50 feet pointed due east out of Las Vegas is the operating conditions here. And as far as the weather, we're not a cloud in the sky, so wall-to-wall sunshine and just maybe the slightest little breeze out there. And looking for a high temperature today around 72 degrees. So typical fall day out here in the desert.
Man, that sounds pretty well perfect, I would say. And yeah, that sounds real good. Actually, we've had a pretty decent summer here. Hadn't been real hot and really not all that humid. So I guess we really can't complain about the weather this year. But great, I think you said 7,300. I kind of missed a little there, but I think you said 7,300 and the 811H and the beam antenna. I have a beam antenna, but this NFED is beating it. And let me explain. I'm just assembled a hex beam, and it's only at 10 feet. So I've got to get that thing up on my little tower. I'll have it up about 40 to 45 feet. But I've had a beam most of the last 20 years, but the last couple of years I hadn't had one. So anyway, I bought this hex beam used and did a little fixing and painting and got it functioning well, but now I just got to get it up on the tower there, Ryan. So that's what's going on here. Just all been tinkering around a little bit with my audio today. Just, of course, in the Apache Lab, I can just have infinite different audio setups, profiles we call them. So I was just playing around today with a little different profile I've developed in a different mic than the one I'd been using. N7 RMK N9VX.
N9VX, N7RMK returning. Well, I tell you what, Joe, it sounds fantastic, the whatever audio curve you're working on today. And in fact, I record all these QSOs so you can see the radio, so you can see your signal and hear your audio. If you go to YouTube, look up my call sign, N7RMK, it'll bring you right to my channel. You're about 2 hours and say 5 minutes into the video if you don't want to listen to it all, which most people don't. They just want to hear what they sound like. So anyhow, if you go on there and check it out, you can give it a listen to what I'm hearing. I'm sure you've probably already heard it on an SDR or through the monitor mode on your radio, but if you're curious to know what it sounded like over the air in Vegas, you can do that there. And on that hex beam, yeah, once you get that up, those hex beams, I tell you what, if I didn't have the setup that I do have here, I got real lucky. Like I said, it was my father's setup, and he's like, here you go. He hasn't been an operator on the radio actively since the early 90s. So there you go, make it work. And so I got lucky on that end. But if I didn't have that situation, hearing all these hex beams out there, that would definitely be my choice. Because I tell you, the performance on those things just blows my mind for what they are. Inexpensive, lightweight, and man, they just put a big signal out there. So yeah, you're going to like that hex beam. You get it up there. Anyway, that's all I got from here, Joe. So check out your audio if you'd like. And other than that, yeah, sounding fantastic. And you've stayed pretty consistent S5, S6 out here in Vegas today. So N9VX from N7RMK. Back to you.
Yeah, N7RMK, N9VX. Well, I had the hex beam I have now is an NA4RR. I'd had a K4KIO up for about 6.5 years. And before that, a 2-element 5-band quad and an ice storm tore that thing up. And then before that, for about 8 years, I had an 8-element log periodic. So I've had a few up, But yeah, I certainly agree with you. Bang for the buck, and just the overall performance, the Hicks beam's hard to beat. Just looking out there at the wind blowing, all the trees are blowing around, and the Hicks beam just kind of sitting there. Doesn't have all that much wind load, and what there is there is symmetrical. And that's one thing I was always so cautious with that ball periodic and that quad, is to make sure I turn that thing into the wind, because those big old booms on there had a lot of wind load. But anyway, good to catch you, Ryan. You're standing great here. But the difference in signals, what you're getting and what I'm getting, is just another good example of how much performance you get out of a beam. But 7-3 to you, and hopefully we'll catch you again soon. N7RMK, N9VX.
All right, Joe, sounds fantastic, and look forward to catching you down the log when you got that hex beam further up in the air, but you're doing fine with what you got, obviously. But we look forward to it. Thanks for picking me up out there today, Joe. N9VX clear, and N7RMK. We got time for just a couple more, so N7RMK QRZ.
N7RMK from Whiskey Uniform 7, Quebec.
Whiskey Uniform 7 Quebec. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir. Hello, this is Mike, M-I-K-E, in Clarksville, Tennessee. Over.
Oh, okay, good. Let's see, afternoon for you, still morning for me there, Mike. You sound fantastic out here in Las Vegas. I was pulling you up on QRZ, so I didn't get to look at the meter, so I'll give you the actual S reading on the way back, but sounded fantastic out here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, very good, very good. I've been listening to you here for a little bit. Loudest signal on the band here. And I'm running a ICOM 7300 doing Alpha 374A, about a kilowatt into a off-center dipole, believe it or not. I don't have my Hex beam up yet, so there you go. Sounded great out of Las Vegas. I didn't make NAB this year, but maybe next. Over.
Oh, we're sorry we didn't have any of that stuff this year. Thankfully, in my field, I'm in construction, so I haven't been affected pretty much at all, but there's a lot of people in town that work in those conventions and the hospitality industry in general, and those guys are hurting. So we're sad that you couldn't make it out here, but stay tuned. Hopefully 2021 will be a much, much better year, and we can get back to, what's that word, normal, right? So anyway, fantastic on the that Alpha amp. That's on the list of an Alpha one day, parking that on the station, or maybe the Expert amp that I keep looking at and drooling over. One of these days I'm gonna have one of those high-enders, but so far this little Ameritron's done good. I picked it up used, so one day it'll probably do something silly, and I won't have any choice. That'll be you need something, right? Might just as well be the Big Bang.
Well, it's sure working for you, boy. You've got a Big Bang today, no doubt. It's great. Band's favoring us, that's for sure. And believe it or not, my primary amp is an Expert 1K FA. I got a 1K solid state, and that does about 1,200 watts. But I decided to rotate the backup amp here, the Alpha in line today, and here we are. But I couldn't resist jumping in and saying hello to you because of the great audio you have and the commanding signal, so it's working. And I'd like to say, maybe this winter or over the spring, I'll put the X beam up. I relocated here a couple of years ago from, I was born and raised in Sacramento in Northern California, and just got tired of the politics and all that, and came out here and took a job in Nashville, and I commute down there. It's about 45 miles to the southeast, and time to retire. Having a good time and having a lot of fun out here. Over.
Oh, sounds great. In ham radio years, I'm still a pup. I'm 43, so everybody's talking about retiring and all that, and I'm like, golly, I can't wait. You mean I'll get to sit around all day and play ham radio? Oh, so I haven't paid my dues yet, but I'm headed that way. I'm reading your QRZ here. Life's too short for QRP. I agree 100%. Dude, throw the power to it and let's go. Yeah, so we're running the 7300. I don't know if I gave you the rundown or not, or if you caught it, but I think the biggest thing I got going here is 7300. The amp's doing 800 watts, so I mean it's definitely putting a little fire on the wire, but it's that antenna. It's a old school. Back in the day, my dad actually is the one that bought it back in the early 80s. And it's a TH6DXX, so it's a 6-element tri-bander up there at 50 feet. And I tell you what, when I got the opportunity to hook into that and got off the wire antennas, it was like a night and day difference. So the whole old adage of antenna really, really does make the difference.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Those Thunderbirds are great antennas. They really are. When I lived in Sacramento, I didn't, I was on a postage-sized, development lot, so I didn't have a lot of room for a big array. I had a 3-element tri-bander up. I think it was a Cushcraft A3 or something, but nothing big like that. But it served its purpose. I've got a half acre here, so there are lots of plans to, put a big array up, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I think you'll be happy with that setup. That 7300 really sounds good, man, let me tell you. And of course, I don't know how many countless times we both heard, I've never heard a bad one. So, best money I've spent to date is buying one of these. And I even bought a Yaesu 101D here a while back and played with it and, got rid of it in favor of the 7300 here. So, that says something about these. The other thing is, I guess in the ham radio career, you live on the West Coast, you can work into the Pacific and south down in Australia and New Zealand pretty easily and all that. But it's a lot much harder to work into Europe and Africa. But once you move to this side of the country, it's effortless even with a dipole. So I had a boss once who was a ham, and he said if you work a few years on each side of the country, ham radio really has some fulfillment because it makes it easy to work everywhere in the world. So, at any rate, but if you've got a Thunderbird up like you have, I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh, U7Q.
Yeah. Everybody talks about that on the East Coast. They're like, yeah, we were working this, that, the other thing, and on and on and on. And this morning, 15's really good. And I'm thinking to myself, let's see, I've been sitting at this radio since 7 o'clock this morning, and I kind of heard a guy in France, might have heard a guy in Italy once or twice, and the further north you go up through Europe, I heard people talking to them, and it's like whatever, So I'm hoping that as the conditions get better, though, that it'll get easier to work into Europe, and I'm not saying that I haven't. I've worked quite a few stations in Europe, 20 meters and whatnot, with an SFI in the mid 60s, so. I'm assuming, and I know what that does, but I'm assuming that as the conditions get better, it'll get easier to talk into Europe from the West Coast here. What I'm really looking forward to is I've pretty much run into a wall, which is kind of funny that it's a wall around the Iron Curtain countries in Eastern Europe. Is the wall that I've run into that I haven't been able to penetrate yet, going that way. So I'm looking forward to maybe getting a lot of the Eastern Bloc countries. I know that's not what they are anymore, but you know what I mean. And then get into the Middle East. I've heard guys talking to the Middle East and potentially have heard people in the Middle East, but that I'm looking forward to as the conditions get better. So hopefully it's not impossible or even rare from the West Coast to get into those places. But then, like you said, and as you know, working into the South Pacific and anything in the Pacific is quite easy from here. If you can hear them, you can definitely work them. So I do hope to get a little better into the East, though. That's the goal anyway, without having to move to the East.
Oh yeah. That will happen. That certainly will happen since everything I've read is we're coming out of the bottom of the cycle finally into the next one. So we're on the upswing. So it's only going to get better. And let me tell you, having ridden a couple of the past cycles where it's pretty effortless. When we're at the peak, you'll have no trouble working anywhere you want to. And in the interim, the contest weekends bring them out of the woodwork. So whenever that happens, you'll hear some that you won't normally hear. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. You'll enjoy it. You know, I've been active in the hobby for 42 years and never missed a beat, and haven't gotten tired of it yet. So it's it's certainly been a respite, and I'll tell you, man, it sure helped us get through this COVID lockdown business. You know, I don't know a better hobby other than maybe golf that help you keep you from going stir crazy, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, all me and my buddies, we hang out on the radio, you know. Of course, we used to meet up and go to lunches and have drinks here and there and stuff like that, but primarily we hang out on the radio. So social distancing, us ham radio operators, we're experts at that, right? You know, it doesn't get any better. So thankfully for me, I haven't been affected by it myself much at all. I work in the construction industry, so we were deemed essential. We just kept our head down and went back to work. You know, of course, you pay attention to washing your hands and keeping your mask on and stuff like that. So, you know, at least, you know, keeping my guys that way. Yeah, I'm mostly in the truck, pointing and saying, "Hey, you guys go take care of that and stay away from me." But no, we've been lucky and haven't been affected too much by it at all. It's just unfortunate the people that have. So there's that. We're gonna get through it though. I know we will. You know, the political arguments are hopefully will be over here in the next couple of months. You know, not getting into which side anybody's on or anything like that. But let's just get back to normal. Get a vaccine going, and hopefully the whole world can take a deep breath, and we'll get back to it like we always do.
Yeah, exactly. I think everybody's just sick of 2020, you know, and I agree with you, man. I'm done with it. Hey, speaking of construction, have you been to the new football stadium there for the Raiders?
No, I haven't. They let finally, I think, 2,000 people in. It's an 80,000 seat arena. They've let 2,000 people in for a UNLV game, and I think maybe a Raiders game now. Not really a football fan, and if I was, it surely wouldn't be the Raiders. It's a fantastic looking facility, though. It was fun to watch it get built. I drove past it every day headed to work. It was fantastic watching them build them, and was impressed by the crane that they brought out here. It's one of the largest crawler cranes on the planet when they put the roof on the place. So that was impressive. But to be inside, nope, haven't been inside. I figure if I do go inside, I'll be for a concert coming to town somewhere along the line. Again, not being much of a football fan.
Oh, okay, yeah, very good. Yeah, just from what I've seen on TV, it looks impressive, and I'm sure there aren't a whole lot of Raider fans there either. But I spent a good portion of my television broadcast career doing sports, so I did a lot of the Bay Area stuff for the Raiders and the 49ers and all that, and of course baseball and every other sport. But when they built that, I figured they'd go big with it, and it sounds like they really did. So that's good deal. My old roommate out west was a masonry contractor, and I've been talking with him, through all this, and he said his work hasn't slowed down at all either. He does mostly light commercial and residential too, and he's got 15 or 20 guys working for him, and he says it hasn't missed a beat. You know, throw a mask at somebody and they keep working. So all the better, I guess. So hope your business is doing the same. You know, just I want to make sure there's money. When I do retire here in a couple of years, my 401 to stay up and all that, and that's about the only thing I'm concerned with all the political stuff. You know, like you say, I think once the dust settles, we get back to some, not the new normal, but some semblance of a past normal. I'll be happy with that too. So very good. Okay, well listen, I won't keep you. I'll give you a chance to work some more folks here, man. With the commanding signal on the band, you should have no trouble. And thanks for talking to me here for a minute. I've enjoyed it.
Hey, no, not a problem at all. I've enjoyed it too, and it's been good on the band. A little bit up and down in the beginning, but it's holding together, and it's definitely a lot of fun. I enjoy getting out here and just having conversations and meeting people. It's definitely fun to do that. When we have the contests is when we blow through and quick contact, exchange and go. So I like the rag chewing portion of ham radio as well. And as far as the industry I'm in is we do third party environmental monitoring for dust and stuff like that, for air quality and whatnot, whatever. So that's what I'm in. We do commercial and residential. I'm on a residential job. I've been there for the last 5 years on this community that they're building, and we can't build them fast enough. Even through the COVID, all of that, we simply can't build them fast enough. And it's mostly people escaping the blue states. They're tired of the taxes. They're tired of the overbearingness of the governments and stuff like that, and the crimes, and on and on and on is the reasons why they tell us they're moving here. And unfortunately, they get here and vote the same way. But again, that's the political side of things. But anyhow, we can't build them fast enough. I think we're building houses right now 64 to 65 days from a dirt lot to here's your keys. And on the 65th day, there's a van outside with stuff in it trying to move in. And it's just incredible. Same with our warehousing and the commercial side of things. Can't build the facilities fast enough. Amazon moved into town. There was several facilities. Walmart's got several big facilities here. And now Haas Automation's building, I think it said 5 million square feet of industrial complex, and 2.5 of it's one building. They build robots that perform surgery and stuff, and that's what they're doing here. So it's just incredible, the construction boom that is still going on through all this, and I guess that's what's keeping the economy going. Anyway, Mike, fantastic conversation with you, and I got about 10 more minutes, so we'll see what else we can pull off the band. I appreciate it, and hope to catch you down the log another time. Enjoyed the conversation, sir. WU7Q, back to you.
Okay, real good. Sounds great, man. Appreciate it. Likewise, really enjoyed it, and great way to spend a Sunday, man. I'll tell you, it's a lot of fun. My girlfriend's actually been out there last few weeks. She works for, she's the fourth level manager for Bimbo Bakery, so they're building a new huge distribution center out there somewhere in Vegas, and so she's been there installing technology in that facility, robotics and gantry trains and all that, so she's kind of spearheading that project. So we've got a couple of more weeks out there. I don't think she's going to get back out there before Thanksgiving, but probably shortly after that. And, I can imagine things are cooking like crazy out there with the growth. And unfortunately, it's winter in California. I was one of them. I was born and raised in Sacramento, but if I never go back, I'm okay with it. So I was a state radio tech for a long time out there too, and I got a little tension coming from that, and that was a lot of fun. But I don't miss it. I miss my friends and some good restaurants, but that's it. It's a lot of fun here, and a completely different conservative lifestyle, that's for sure. I'm, like I say, my back deck here is 2 miles from the Kentucky border in Fort Campbell, and we're 45 miles northwest of Nashville. So, everything you can want there, as you can probably seen on TV. Anyway, 7-3, and we'll talk down the log. I've got some noisy birds here in the background. WU7Q Portable 4, Clarksville, Tennessee. See you later.
All right, Mike, we'll catch you. Have a good one. It's been great. N7 RMK, we'll take, we'll take one more, and then we got to go. So N7 RMK QRZ.
Kilo X-ray 4, Mike November.
One more time.
Kilo X-ray 4, Mike November.
Kilo X-ray 4, Mike November. You're light, but I got you in there.
Great. I appreciate it, Ryan. Sounds like yours said, and you're booming in here. I'm using the same amp you are, but it looks like I'm only putting out about 500 watts today on 15 meters. But I don't usually get on 15 meters, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I'd appreciate a signal report if I can, please.
Yeah, no problem. Honestly, I've got you. There is QSB on the band, so I've got you bounced around between S0 and S3. I was able to hear audio-wise everything you said, no problem though. So not a big signal, but you're definitely getting through. And I'm going to say it's the band. I mean, the band has been up and down. I'm running, like I said, about 800 watts into a 6-element beam, so that does help. So it really just depends on, it's looking like it takes a decently big antenna and some power to get anything more than an S5. So I'd say your station's working just fine. It's just the conditions just aren't there.
Roger, right. Yeah, thanks. I might also have to check my tuning here. I might need to retune both the tuner and the amp. But yeah, because normally when I'm on 20 meters, for example, you know, with the Ameritron 811H, you know, I'll be doing 75 watts. I mean, 750 watts easy on the watt meter. But today, for some reason, looks like I'm only peaking at about 500 watts. So, and I'm going to go into an off-center fed dipole here in South Carolina, by the way. Yeah, you're a 5'9", and I just wanted to, I heard you were just looking for one more caller, and I wanted to catch you real quick, because you're coming in strong. I appreciate you getting back to me, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Hey, no problem, Mark. Yep, we got you in there, and I do appreciate you coming back. Yeah, I got to go feed this face. You know, I'm a fat kid over here losing weight. My daughter is either still asleep or just hasn't let me know she's awake. But it's time to eat before my belly starts thinking that somebody slit my throat. It's going to be a problem. I don't want to get hangry. So we might get back out here later on, but no, definitely you get to fill the last block in the book for this morning. I've got you logged in on QRZ, and we'll have you here on the YouTube video as well. N7RMK is the call sign. You just look that up on YouTube, and you'll be able to see and hear what you sounded like today. Here in a couple hours, we'll get that video uploaded. Anyway, that's all we got from Vegas. 72 degrees, wall-to-wall sunshine, not a breeze blowing. Typical fall day out here in the desert, and I've had a lot of fun on 15 meters this morning. So, Mark, I do appreciate you being out there and coming back to me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it, too. And, yeah, let's take care of eating before you get the hangries, as you were saying. And, yeah, best of luck to you. Stay safe, stay healthy. N7RMK, this is Kilo X-Ray 4, Mike November. I'll be clear, and thanks.
Alrighty, it sounds good, Mark. Kilo X-Ray 4, Mike November from N7RMK. 73s, my friend, and we are QRT. See you guys. Alright, there's 15 meters. Started out rough, but we ended up doing pretty good. If you guys like this content, please like, subscribe, and any questions or comments, please feel free to throw them in there. If you guys like this stuff. If there's anything that you want to see that I'm not doing, let me know. If you think I could do better, please let me know. I'm very new to this YouTube thing, and kind of trying to make something out of it. Maybe, maybe not. Just want to put the content out there. Maybe we'll attract some more people to the hobby. Anyway, 73s from N7RMK. Hope you all have a great day.